welcome to the Weekly Social, folks. Everything Fulshear, Richmond, Katy, Texas. Today we have Angela Esghouei here with the Nutritional Healing Center and Denise Tomasini.
Supreme Lending.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Richard,
and for having us and doing this every week. You're awesome.
You guys are the best. Hey, Angela, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Angela Esghouei, owner of the Nutritional Healing Center here in Katy. I started this kind of journey back in 2011 when I became a patient of a chiropractor, and he did this strange looking thing called muscle testing that I was completely intrigued with, and he would push on people's arms while touching different organ and body systems, and I'd be like, what the heck's going on there? And I became a patient of it because I'm nosy. I like to know things.
It started with you.
Yes, exactly. So it was when I went through that process that I actually realised how sick I'd actually felt. When I started to feel better, I actually realised how sick I'd actually been. So I don't take any medications, never have done, still don't to this day.
Me either. Not unless I absolutely have to.
Yes.
And it's only for a short amount of time until I get through it.
Right, yeah. So that kind of set me on my journey, and then I decided that I would actually certify myself to do this. And that's what happened. I went to Florida to school and did various different certifications and set my business up about 4 years ago. So I'm very young in my own business, although I've been surrounded by it for many, many years. Mm-hmm.
That's excellent. That's very interesting. And it was a chiropractor, right? You said you went to a...
Initially I went to see a chiropractor who did this muscle testing that I do. That's the main thing I do in the office. Yeah. So muscle testing is a way of analysing the body, looking for nutritional deficiencies or ill health or disease. Muscle testing simply means you push on the arm while you're asking the client to match my pressure. If I touch an organ, for instance, say the thyroid, and the thyroid is under stress, I know by the change of muscle response, because the body's innate intelligence puts the energy to the thyroid instead of the arm.
So touching the organ and the arm, you can feel the difference in pressure.
Yes.
And how you react.
So your brain will innate intelligence, your brain will say, she's telling you to match her pressure. Like I can push in your arm and you can resist me pushing it down.
Right.
But because of the energy in the arm, if I touch a body system that's under stress, say the thyroid, your innate intelligence says, she's touching the thyroid and the thyroid doesn't feel good. So the energy from the arm goes, and all the energy goes to the thyroid.
And the arm falls down.
I know by, sometimes it's a quiver, sometimes it's a slight drop, sometimes it's a real drop. But I know by the change in the muscle response.
And talk to us about your testing.
Okay, so when we find a body system or organ that's under stress, we have to think, instead of just giving a medication, we have to think, what's causing the thyroid, as an example, to not function properly? What's wrong? So we look for 5 barriers to healing. The first one being food sensitivities. Okay, so these are homeopathic preparations of all the different milk, eggs, seafood, meat, beans, sugars, whatever. Not just in America, all around the world. So I have my client touch the file while I'm pushing on their arm, and I'm touching the thyroid. I can nail down exactly what food, if any, is stressing the thyroid. And then we take it one stage further. We check for bacteria, virus, mold, fungus, parasites, GMO foods, virulence factors. There's another test kit with heavy metals, chemicals, and then scars is the 5th barrier to healing. So if there's a scar in the nervous system, the brain can't send the signal to that organ. If there's a scar in an organ, so for instance, if the thyroid example again, the brain sends a signal to the thyroid to do what thyroids do. If there's a scar acting as a barrier, then I will know by that change in muscle response, and then I use a super cool laser light, rub the wheat germ oil on the scar, and then put the laser light on the scar, and it heals the scar tissue, allowing that signal, breaks down the tissue to allow the signal to get to the organ or area of the scar.
Isn't that interesting? You can do that fairly quickly. It takes you
how long? Literally minutes. Yeah, literally minutes. So if someone's had thyroid surgery, they've got that scar there. You know, that means that thyroid is most likely not going to get the proper signal from the brain, because the signal basically bounces off the scar instead of getting to its destination.
Or I
So you
broke my
fixed one
wrist.
thing and created another problem.
And I used all
Exactly.
the, everything
Yeah.
my doctor told me, my orthopedic surgeon, when I broke my wrist, said go to HEB or CVS, wherever, and buy the scarf. And it didn't,
Yeah.
he thought it would minimize it, but
Yeah.
it really
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
And wouldn't that be interesting? That
Exactly.
wouldn't take the scar away. That wouldn't
It
minimize
softens
it.
it. It softens. Sometimes when
would.
you have a scar and it's very
They're
grizzly.
very hard feeling.
Yeah. So if you're massaging oil, even just massaging oil to your scar will help. If you're
Right.
massaging oil, it breaks down that scar tissue, and this penetrates the scar tissue and
Okay.
helps just to heal it better.
Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's
would have
it's
great.
super
never
That's
known that.
fascinating.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, our bodies are innately intelligent. Like God designed us to heal. If you have the proper brain connection, hydration, and nutrition,
Right.
you're giving the body everything it needs to heal. If it needs a little help with a supplement, then that's fine. Because we're not all eating what we need to eat.
Right, it's not all
yeah.
packaged or
Exactly.
and so
Yeah.
much processed food out
Exactly.
there today that we're
Between
that we're
processed
eating
food, sugars, and sodium in food,
Yes, exactly.
and growth hormone, and there's so much stuff in
So
our
many
food today.
things. And I actually go grocery shopping with my clients.
Oh, that's great.
And
okay.
help
that's
them.
great.
Yeah,
That's
you'll see a
great.
posse
Yeah.
of us in a store.
Oh, I
Yeah.
love
And
that.
sometimes a group, sometimes individual, because they want to still be able to eat their Italian spaghetti, tomato sauce, whatever. But you can make healthier choices to get cleaner brands. And I teach people to read the labels so they can actually make informed decisions themselves. So there's always a way to eat better. You don't have to lose all your treats in life. You just
Well,
have
like
to clean
milk.
things up.
I love
Yeah.
milk, and I drink 2% milk. So we
Yeah.
were talking about that, and we said, okay,
Yeah.
we need
Yeah.
to drink the organic milk.
Well, the
versus
milk or the
2%.
food, the animal protein that you're getting is only as healthy as the animal that's producing it. So if that animal, for instance, the cows, they're in barns and they never leave that area where they're milked constantly, they're being fed growth hormones to produce more milk, they get mastitis and their pus is going in the milk and all the yummy stuff,
Right.
So if you're having that, then the milk you're drinking is not good quality. It's not serving you well. There's probably very little nutrition in it. So if you're going to do non-organic, do low fat. If you're going to do organic, do the full fat, because the goodness is in the fat. But on the downside, the toxins are in the fat. They store in the fat.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah,
Because we're always told to stay
Yeah.
with the low fat, right? With
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
I've always been told
Yeah.
and taught.
Well, that's
But with the
another
organic-
podcast for another day, because
Yeah,
we
that's-
need to eat healthy fats. That's one of the
Avocado.
things. Yeah.
Avocado's an excellent
oil or
source.
actually eating
I eat
avocados.
one of those a day.
Oh, that's
I
great.
blend it in a smoothie,
Oh,
actually.
that's right. That's great.
Yep.
That's an
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
source
people
of-
that do low-fat diets are actually starving their brain and their hormone systems. They're actually doing themselves a huge disservice. If you need to eat good quality fats and not the low-fat things. Our brain is mainly made up of fat, so a lot of memory issues, Alzheimer's, dementia. If you're eating a higher fat diet, you're actually helping to prevent that from happening.
I didn't know that.
Every hormone needs fat. Your cholesterol, like people do low cholesterol, low fat to manage their cholesterol blood labs.
Yeah.
Your dietary cholesterol has no effect on your blood cholesterol whatsoever. So when you're doing low fat, your cholesterol levels on your blood labs will go higher because your brain needs it. It needs to get it from somewhere. If you're eating it, your body doesn't raise the cholesterol quite so high. So doing low fat is a huge disservice to all of us.
And I wonder if that's why could that be why you see so many pre-diabetic today? I thought it was all the sugar that's made in everything we eat, because that's almost an epidemic now in our health.
Yeah.
With
Diabetes
you don't necessarily have to
is-
be overweight now to be.
I mean, diabetes is more to do with the sugars, and the downside with that is when people use low sugar or sugar-free. Sugar-free to me just screams chemicals.
It is.
Right? All the
Aspartame and all that.
Yeah.
And if you look at that stuff, that stuff's not healthy
It's
for you.
nasty,
Right.
nasty.
It's very bad.
A lot of sickness and disease. I mean, they've actually done studies that people that have been diagnosed with Parkinson's or MS actually have aspartame poisoning.
Wow.
Isn't that awful?
Yeah.
Not everyone, but when you come off, I mean, like the diet sodas. I tell
Well, yeah,
my
they get a diet
clients-
drink, but it's still a big gulp.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah. But my
Right.
clients that come for the coaching, you can't take everything away from everybody because they would never come back and see me. I have to do gradual baby steps, right?
Yeah.
You know, as much as that
I think
client
to
can
build
cope
those
with.
habits too, to help us.
Yeah,
but I love Coke.
Yeah, but I always say to my clients, I don't want you drinking.
Once in a blue moon, Coke.
Yeah,
Very,
don't
very
drink
rare.
soda, but rather drink the full sugar soda than the diet, because they're both terrible, but the diet is
worse.
far worse for you. Yeah.
And I love everything you offer. I kind of wanted to talk about because I'm intrigued and I'm fascinated, and we all need this, right?
Yes.
And you offer so many.
So nutrition response testing we've covered. That's the pushing on the arm.
So there's a brochure, guys, that you can see everything.
Swing by the office and you can pick one up.
Yeah.
Nutrition coaching, we've talked about that. Touch for Health kinesiology is a little bit like acupuncture but without the needles. So every organ, has an energy, the chi of the body, right? If there's over energy, under energy, or blocked energy to an organ, that organ's not going to work right.
Oh, wow.
So an acupuncturist, wonderful, I love acupuncture. They would place the needles in the spaces in the points where the organ energy needs to be freed, right?
I know people that have lost use of their arm and they got it back through acupuncture.
Yeah, fantastic.
I've seen it.
I'm not an acupuncturist.
Yeah, my brother
so I have to do this.
Yes.
But
my
it's
other
wonderful,
brother
very
does
effective.
acupuncture and swears by it too.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring in the lovely Priscilla
Yeah,
Poff.
come on in.
Nope.
Thank you. Thank you,
So
Richard.
I know-
I get your spot. Oh, I am lucky
And
today.
some of the things you offer, Priscilla did, which I'm really interested in,
Jake,
which
will
was
you hand me my phone?
which was the cleanse foot
The food
detox.
detox,
Which I'm really
It's
interested
been-
in. Priscilla did this, guys, and kind of introduced us to the Nutritional Healing
Right.
Center.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can't really see what all happened when I did that, but you can explain different
So
things that are going on while you're doing that
You
process.
put your feet in the bath, which has just clean tap water, just regular water. There's no funny stuff in there.
And then you
And there's a
connect.
black piece of equipment called an array that goes in the water that emits ions into the water, and they are negatively or positively charged. So your feet's in the water. The first thing that happens is it sends a signal to your nervous system to switch from sympathetic to parasympathetic, right? The two branches of the nervous system, fight or flight or rest and digest,
Yes.
right?
Okay. I have heard
So
that.
your
Yes, I've
detox
heard
pathways only work when you're in the rest and digest mode.
that. Okay.
Right? So this machine sends electric and water, but it's very safe, sends a signal to your nervous system to switch into that rest and digest. So most people start to feel very relaxed.
Wow.
And then
Isn't that
their
interesting?
detox pathways open.
Yeah.
The array in the water emits the ions. The negative ions attract the positively charged toxins, and the positive ions attract the negatively charged toxins. And that magnetic pull draws the toxins from your feet. Your skin's your biggest detox organ, and the most pores in your body are on the soles of your feet. So
Right.
therefore you get that magnetic pull. And as this session's going, initially the color change you see is from the toxins in the water. This array deals with the toxins in the water and from your body, right?
Okay.
So the non-believers say it doesn't work properly.
Right.
You're going to see a color change with feet or not, and they're right because the water's got toxins in it. But once that magnetic pull starts, you start to see different colors. Most people start with orange, which is like joints, and then it sometimes goes brown or black if it's a liver cleanse or a deep liver cleanse, which is the darker black. And then you can get a hint of green, which is the gallbladder. You have like a white kind of bubbly kind of look that is the lymphatic system, which is an
I was
awesome,
thrilled because
awesome
of
thing
my
to detox,
as
because-
we were sitting there,
Yeah.
because allergies are so bad.
Right.
And I was like, oh, yay, that's just draining out of me. It's just going into this.
Exactly. And then you can also detox heavy metals. So if anyone's had any vaccines, they want the harmful things in the vaccine out, the heavy metals, parasites, mold, fungus, all kinds of yummy
And
stuff.
the body decides what.
What it's willing to let go of, and it all depends on your nervous system's communicating with the detox pathways, and your body will dump the toxins when it's ready to, because if you dump too fast, then you can have detox reactions.
Okay.
Which is what?
Headaches,
Okay.
fatigue, nausea.
Okay.
Most people, I've never had anyone have anything but I feel like I might get a headache, but it just subsides.
Okay.
Because detoxing can, depending on how toxic we are, detoxing can actually
So when we were sitting there and doing all that,
Right,
you
very
were like,
interesting.
okay, your body is reacting to this well,
Yes.
Right.
and it's releasing the things. But you
Yeah.
sometimes have people that it doesn't.
Sometimes someone will start off, that was your first one, and
Right.
you detox your lymphatic system, which is awesome. Some people take a couple before they start to really dump a lot of toxins. Or they'll do 5 or 6 sessions, and then all of a sudden they'll have a really poor detox. But it just depends. Your body's maybe has just had enough, and then our body heals in layers. There's always another layer opening something else up.
Right.
So how often do you recommend doing it, and when do you know you've successfully completed?
And then you kind of go into a maintenance
It's never
kind of.
complete because we are exposed to toxins every day,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So you're never actually ever going to not have to detox. But
Okay.
Okay.
I try and
That's
encourage people to
interesting,
do
guys.
twice a week initially, and then
Okay.
you can go down to once a week, once every 2 weeks, and at the very least I would do once monthly, but weekly is optimal because we need to get rid of, however age we are, we have that age of toxins built up in our body, right?
Right.
So having 1, 2 or 3 detoxes isn't going to, it would be costing an awful lot more than it does if that was going to take everything out in 3 sessions, for instance.
Right.
And will it
So-
take swelling? Will it take swelling out?
It-
And help?
yeah,
'Cause
well,
it's
yeah,
helping with
because-
circulation.
Because
Uh-huh.
I had a lady come to see me that she could hardly walk with her ankles were so swollen.
Aw.
She'd had a bite or something had happened to give her a
Okay.
reaction. So we did some supplementation as well, but the detox after a few sessions, like her ankles were like just back down because anything in our body that's not serving us well is inflammatory, and inflammation creates swelling.
Right.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of, again, I talk about the innate intelligence a lot, but swelling and inflammation is produced by our body to protect an area, and then the inflammation goes down when this threat's gone. So the inflammation kind of is good in a way.
Yeah.
Any inflammatory thing is your body heals through the inflammatory process.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. That's why she just, I mean, it was just, we didn't stop. I mean, we just kept going and talking, and because she's got so much to share.
Just for
And
your
it's-
health and your inner health.
You know,
and there's no really
there's
relaxation. I mean, there's no massaging, or it's really all about
Everything's just
detoxing,
hands-on,
soaking,
getting
and,
the body functioning the way God
which is
made us.
honestly just as
But
healthy. It's
but
part of your.
it's part of your self-care.
It
And I
is,
think
yes.
that
Yeah, I
that
agree.
day spending that time with
Yeah.
you made me realize I was not doing any self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And
we deserve that.
we do.
We do deserve that.
I mean, we do. We do our hair, we do our nails, we do our pedicure. But it's still, that's more
But it's like
cosmetic. That's more. But
doing-
what are we doing with
yeah.
our internal?
Right.
because
Right.
our internal affects all the external.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so, I did, it's little
So if somebody's
baby
not
steps,
feeling good or having allergy issues, they'll go do the drip bar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Versus that they could come and see
you.
My nephew, he has really bad allergies at different times of the year. I could recommend that to him.
Yeah,
And
I mean, drip
would-
bar, all these drip, great.
Right.
I'm not.
Those are great
all
for
it.
you because that's,
But
Giving you vitamins
the,
and all,
The
so it could
liver
work
is
together.
the organ that's related to allergy symptoms. So allergies are like a histamine
would you
reaction,
think about the
right?
liver being the
Yeah.
part of your body
Yeah.
that's
So instead of taking Zyrtec, Claritin, or whatever,
Right.
you're just kind of dampening the symptom of
But
the
you're not
allergens,
curing
but you're
it.
not
Heal
allowing
it.
the body to actually clear the allergen out.
And
right?
heal it. And heal
So
it.
the histamine reaction is what's giving the sneezing, the itching, the rashes, or whatever. The same if you get bitten by a fire ant or, a mosquito. You get that inflammation and that
Yes.
itch and whatever.
right.
If you take a supplement called Antranex, which has yakatron in it, which is a natural antihistamine, your liver, it encourages your liver to dump the histamines, the itch goes away.
And that's the cool thing about you is that
Yeah.
you have those things when you're figuring all these out. Oh, what we need.
Oh, yeah.
She has them
There's
there
always a
for
natural
you
way.
to
Yeah.
take with you,
Yeah.
so you
Absolutely.
can
I mean, look at
implement
her-
all this.
So you could look at, I was really interested when Priscilla was telling me about the detox of the feet, and I had heard of that.
Right.
I had was.
But
I'm
I'm
aware of it.
going back and I'm letting her figure out the
And do the muscle
allergies and do the
testing.
muscle
Yeah,
testing.
yeah.
That's the next thing we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'll go back to the foot detox,
Yeah.
but I want allergies
So here's
clean.
how a really cool thing. Like when I do the muscle testing, we find out. Now normally I'll find 5, 6, 7 organs that are not working optimally.
Okay.
But then there's different modes that I put your fingers in, which are to do with the meridians and things in the body. Your body can actually prioritize. Does it want to start with the thyroid, the liver, the lungs, or the pancreas? I know by the muscle response you can actually narrow it right down to what your body wants to prioritize. Because if I start with your thyroid and your liver's your priority, the thyroid's not going to get better because I haven't hit the priority.
Okay.
Right? So
Okay.
So that's where she has you touch
Yeah.
the testing.
All
to
these.
see
This is to find out what's causing the stress
Right.
on the organ. But the priority mode is to determine which organ do I start working with.
So when you meet with the customer or patient, do you touch? Do you go through the process of let me touch the liver, let me touch the liver?
There's a few different, we have to do the paperwork, of course, and we have a talk so I can get to the lifestyle, any past histories of, any medications, because, just to keep an eye on that. And then I do a full body scan. So from the brain to the feet, we do a full body scan to see what's going on.
And it's not really a scan machine. You're doing
No,
a
I'm
scan
touching
with,
the dermatomes while I'm pressing on the arm. And
Okay.
I know I like all the different organ systems, the digestion, small intestine, large intestine, bladder, kidneys, adrenals, whatever, while I'm pushing on the arm. And then I know by the muscles that response what's under stress.
Okay.
Use the stressors to find the cause of the stress, and then use the muscle testing to find the appropriate supplementation. Or what to avoid, whether it's a food, wheat, gluten, milk, nuts, eggs, seafood, whatever.
Yeah, Richard.
Right.
So there's our body's innate intelligence, that's that word again. Your body wants to get well, so it cooperates so well.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
So when I get the information I need, and then we work out a protocol of elimination of foods that are not serving you well, or adding in supplements supplement a bad diet. So normally there are some supplements needed initially, but the whole idea is to heal the body with what you're putting in your food wise.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's the
And
ultimate
then,
goal.
Yeah, so the more you eat better, the less
Change your
supplements you
habits.
take.
Right.
If you're not going to change your diet, then you're going to be on the supplements forever.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay, so tell us about this pulsed electromagnetic.
Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy.
Mm-hmm.
So PEMF for short is a mat that you lay on. It has copper coils in it, and it kind of grounds your body to the frequency of the earth. And there's all different frequencies for all different diseases, blood, diabetes you were talking about, stress, anxiety, not sleeping, heart issues, high blood pressure, whatever. Lists of hundreds of different things that people suffer. When you lay on the mat, there's different settings I can put the mat to. It actually helps your cells turn over at a cellular level, at a higher level. So everything on earth has a frequency. The cold and flu,
energy.
COVID, whatever. Everything has a frequency. If you keep your body above the frequency of that illness or disease, you're less likely to get it. If your energy system, frequency of your body goes below that, you're more prone to catching the cold or flu.
I mean, of course, what you caught my eye on is maximize mental clarity, increases focus, energy, and vitality.
Yeah.
We all complain about that at different times.
Yeah.
Right.
So if you imagine you take a piece of paper and you put it in the photocopier, and then you keep photocopying the photocopied piece, the deterioration of quality goes down. Same with your cells. Your cells, you want every 90 days, our cells are renewing themselves. Everything in your body, every cell and blood cell in your body in 90 days has renewed itself. And then you want the cells to renew at a higher level. And that's how you maintain health and improve your health. Like if you have a disease and you recover from it, it's because you've improved that cellular DNA of the thing that you've been treating, right? So the mat allows your cells to renew themselves at that.
So we could spend the whole day there, Denise, I think.
We could.
Oh,
You could.
yeah.
That would be
And
fun.
just going through all the things.
Yes.
Yes.
I agree.
I like that.
So go over the therapy again with me. The
pulsed electromagnetic field therapy. So you lay on the mat, and it's normally a 30-minute session, and you'll hear like a very fine tick. That's just the copper coils doing their thing, and you just feel relaxed. You're not feeling anything happening, but when you come off, people are like, "Man, I slept well," or my knees don't ache as much, or I'm not so stressed.
And it takes how long?
30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay. Everything's like 30 minutes,
Uh-huh.
which is great. 'Cause
Yeah.
anybody
It's a
can
lunch
fit that
hour
into
thing.
their schedule
Right.
and work
Yeah.
through it.
Yes. So once a week,
PowerPoint.
you start, you do different things with her and, and get things, your whole system in tune.
Yeah.
And the good thing
It's
is, if you're
basically
on the, if you're
getting
on
your
the
system
mat,
in tune.
if you're on the mat or if you're detoxing, I'm in the room with you, so you have 30 minutes to ask
To
questions.
pick her brain.
Right.
Yes.
And tell us what's going on. Like,
Exactly.
would you recommend starting with the feet? Is that where you like to start?
I
with
think the best
customer?
thing that people can do is to come in for the muscle testing, because that's like a whole map of everything going on in
So
your
now you
body
know
and
where to
system.
go.
Yeah, but when
Yes.
people, that takes some preparation. I need paperwork, and I can't just kind of have someone walk in and say, hey, let's do it. There's a process. So for most, that's ideal. But for most people, they come in for they first meet me, it's because they've come for the food detox. Because they've heard about this food detox.
Right.
And so we do that, but then we get to visit and kind of
and I can point out all the different services.
Well, that's a
and
good
learn
start too.
Yeah.
because
through
Exactly.
because we
Exactly.
don't understand this. That's
How do-
why
well,
we need
now
her.
we know
But
by
this is
touching.
available to us in Katy, Texas.
Right, and we know how
Yes.
to heal. We know how to.
Your body's innate intelligence. It wants to heal. Your body can heal.
and it's
if you
very
give the
affordable.
proper food.
Your pricing.
Oh,
Guys, so
yeah.
how do they get in touch with you? How do we call you?
So-
make an appointment.
I think Rich is going to post the
Yes.
Facebook page,
Yes,
the
so the
Nutritional
link.
Healing
Yes.
Centre.
Yes.
You'll see my face. They can call the office
I will
on
too.
281-665-8957. My cell number is 832-273-5859.
And she's
Yes.
right here in Katy on
Yeah.
Westheimer Parkway.
Yeah, right.
It's the
Out towards the
Nutritional
mall.
Healing Center.
Mm-hmm.
Right there on Westheimer Parkway toward Katy Mills Mall.
Easy
The
in and out. Yes.
77494 area code.
Yeah.
And what days do you work that you're
I
available?
don't have set 9 to 5 days. It's kind of by appointment, but I'm there every day. But
Okay.
for people that needs kind of times out with if they're working, I can
later in the
accommodate.
afternoon
Yeah, it's kind
or
of by appointment.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But
all
I'm
right.
very flexible.
Saturdays.
I do new patients on a Saturday, so if
Okay.
someone's coming in for the nutrition response testing, I don't kind of do food detoxes and things. I do. You know what? I'm soft-hearted. I kind of end up getting dragged in on a Saturday, and
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Not every
you're
Saturday, though.
you're like us. You're available.
Yes.
If that is what you need and you need us on
Exactly.
those times,
Yeah,
you're there.
We're there.
And
Yeah.
a
Absolutely.
free
Right.
consultation doesn't cost anything. I'm willing to give 15 minutes to anybody that
Oh,
wants to
yeah.
come and just say hi and meet me and
see
know.
your,
And
see
you
your
won't be
office,
disappointed
see
when you
your-
go in
yeah.
and meet her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You
you'll
won't.
resonate with me or not, right?
Yes.
It's that energy thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that's a free thing I offer everyone. So,
And
yeah.
so, wives, get your husbands to take you
Mm-hmm.
so they can listen and feel
Yeah.
a little more comfortable
Yes.
and
About
maybe get
doing it.
them involved with it too. But if they take you, they get to listen and
Gain
get
all the knowledge.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
because we know that sometimes they don't always want to
Yeah. The
try new
men,
things.
no disrespect, are the most stubborn to realize that they need some help. They don't want to often admit that they need some
I think
help.
we've gotten
but-
better as time
yeah.
has evolved and nutrition has become really important
Yes.
to most of us. Exercise, riding bikes.
But
or
you
things.
know where I
would-
see
I
that
think
that
this
has
would be men and
changed
women.
is when I go and get my nails and toes done.
I see
There's
And
men.
then the men
in there.
are in
I do
there.
too.
Yes.
I
So
do
they're
too.
caring and they're not thinking that's something they
I
shouldn't
do
do.
too.
Yes.
So I think we've come a long way.
I do- I
Absolutely.
agree.
100% agree. Yeah.
So that is really cool.
Yeah.
Speaking of coming a long way, guys, we've got
Yes, it's
we're in
gonna be
partnership with Your Move. Dada reached out. He is taking an 18-wheeler
huge, which is phenomenal.
to the hurricane victims. We
Oh,
need to
awesome.
fill this truck up,
Right.
guys, by next Thursday, the 10th. So we are a drop-off
Dog
location
food, cat food, everything.
here at Select Title on Westheimer Parkway, 23930 Westheimer Parkway, Katy, Texas. You can call us 832-356-3235. We've got a whole room set up just for you to drop
awesome.
off.
Yeah.
Just for these
The
families,
items.
which
Yes.
is
Send me a
so
link. I'll post it on my
important.
page too.
We are, we know what they're going through. We've been there,
Yes.
and we're always watching the hurricanes and what's happening. And these people, they need our help. So
Yep.
diapers, what all do we have? Hygiene products,
Animal, cat and dog food,
flashlights,
Can tell you're an animal lover.
batteries.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
I mean everything.
dog
Yeah.
food,
Yeah,
cat food,
everything. Yeah.
all those things. Let's really,
But the animals so many times get forgotten in
I
these
know.
situations,
Yes.
so that's why we don't want to forget them.
No.
But yeah, any non-perishable
Yes.
items, any non-perishable food items are very helpful. So I think that's
any
phenomenal.
contacts with companies that may have some ice chests that they want to donate, so those can go. We're love an ice truck to go with him because we know that ice is another thing
Right.
that you don't
Yeah.
have. So how do they keep lunch meat or milk for a baby or things like that?
Medications.
So
Right.
medications,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we just have to think what we miss when we lose power
Right.
or how to gain
Exactly.
power, right?
Yes. So let's do it, guys, and let's just
Absolutely.
really help these people and be a blessing in their lives, like Dada is doing
So he's so
for
amazing.
so many.
And he's
you
with
know.
Your Move, which is EURMOVE, and he's amazing. I've met with him several times. He helps a lot of people
Big,
and really
big
has
heart.
a big heart. And he just does, if you look every year for the schools, he'll fill a whole 18-wheeler with school supplies and backpacks for the kids.
Yes.
That he's just constantly giving back to his community. Really.
But this
good
just
guy.
hit his heart, and he's like,
And he's
we're
doing
doing
it on
it.
his own.
Yeah,
I mean, this
we're
is,
doing
an
it.
18-wheeler.
awesome.
That's not cheap to
No.
run the gas, to
No.
maintain that truck, to get somebody to drive it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, please donate, and I know I will. So I plan to drop stuff off.
Yes, so
Um,
please, you're at the grocery store this weekend and picking up some things, pick up a few extras and drop it off.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay?
absolutely.
So we look forward to seeing everybody next week and that room being filled up.
Yes. And now's the time to buy. Don't wait. We're hearing that a lot, that people are waiting. I think that what's going to happen as rates come down and everything, all the reports are telling us that it's going to happen going into 2025. Let's see. It's speculation at this point, but if it does, then we run back into a buying frenzy, right? It becomes a bidding war. Now is your time where buyer and seller are working together. Sellers are more more willing, I guess, for lack of a better word, to help the buyers. So now is the time to do it.
Yeah. And, we were talking, we had a great September, guys. Things
Yes.
are happening in the real
It's all
estate
positive.
industry,
It's
and
moving.
everything is working. So
We see some inflationary time, but it's still a great. Our economy is still great. We're seeing some inflation, so that's where you're not seeing the full rate drop from the 0.5 point from the Feds back on September 17th. But I do think over time we are going to see that. Sometimes it takes time to see that
right.
that benefit from it. We're still lower and in a much better with interest rates than we were a year ago from now. So yeah, buy
Blessings.
now, don't wait. Refinance in the future. I know it's Supreme. We're giving you a discount advantage program. Call me with questions about that. It's phenomenal, and it's.
And then you can close it here with us.
Yeah.
Thank
There
you,
you go.
Denise. We like that.
Yeah.
One
That's
stop
why we
shop.
work at a
Give you a
team.
little bit of market, but give you a
Right.
little bit of market information that's going on, because we are getting a lot of questions on what's going on.
Yes.
Feds dropped to 0.5 point. What's happening with interest rates? So it's great to
Right.
to share
Right.
that information.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's good
Yeah.
news.
Yeah.
I love it.
And
I
thank you
love
for
it.
coming out today. You've got a really
welcome.
nice
Thank you for
brochure.
having
Okay,
me.
so remember
Looking
the
forward to it.
can't even
Nutritional.
talk. Thank you. The Nutritional Healing Center,
Yeah,
right here
with
on West
Angela.
Summer Parkway, Katy, Texas.
Yeah.
Guys, this is available to you, and this she
Ask
just
for Angela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
offers
Yeah.
so many wonderful things. So thank you.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
Thanks for
It's been
coming
a
out.
pleasure.
Happy Friday, guys.
Happy
Have a
Friday.
great day.
Hope to see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.